Good evening, PM 691. So tonight I'm going to be reviewing, doing my video discussion on the Chapter 6, which was time management. After reviewing the material in Chapter 6 about time management and what the responsibilities of the project manager is, I chose to discuss the following topic, which is the crux of the whole thing, the start of it, the project schedule management. So project schedule management is the process of establishing the policies, procedures, and documentation for the planning, developing, managing, execution, and controlling the project schedule. Schedule management plan should include the methodology used to create the schedule, and the project manager should also describe the use of the scheduling software. So that would include some of the guidelines to identify how he's measuring the process. So if he's doing it by the hour, or by the day, by the week, and if you're doing it by the day, then you should also identify that as is it calendar days or just working days for the purposes of doing your scheduling. The schedule manager should also plan to include the duration of each activities and the efforts required for that. So if you're doing something like a concrete pour, then you're gonna say you'll need so many full-time man hours and the equipment hours in addition to that to do some of those things. And for certain things like excavating and things of that nature, it would use a different equipment hour rate or hour use or equipment usage, I should say, as opposed to just regular old man hours. Once you do this, this kind of should establish a baseline, and then obviously you're going to want to talk with your team to make sure that you haven't missed anything, and for also you're going to do a validation check to make sure that the timeline that you set out is actually achievable. If you're going to have to go and get some other different pieces of equipment, or you're going to have to go back to the customer and say, if you want us to do this in this time frame, we're going to have to make some concessions on some of the things that you want to accomplish for this project, because it's not going to be possible in the time that you've given us or with the funding that you've given us. So the triangle of it you can only do it cheap, on time, or actually to what you need. So if you can't, you can only do two of those things. So you can do it on time and on budget, or on time and exactly what they requested, or exactly what they requested and on budget, but your timeline will be, may most likely take a hit in that regard. This baseline, again, like I said, is used for to monitor and control the various phases of the project. So the planning process helps the team provide guidance and direction for the project schedule and how to manage the schedule throughout the duration of the project. So if you have that schedule, then you kind of have a guideline of what's supposed to happen, and you can have that glide path to see, okay, we're starting here at day 1 and we need to get to day 99 or whatever the case may be. So that gives you the nice little timeline glide path that you can use for that. Using this process, you can develop, basically for this process, you're going to treat it as you're doing your own little project. So you'll scope of work and all that stuff to try to figure out the best method to get your schedule completed. So with that in mind, the takeaways on this is project schedule management is a process for creating the schedule, creating a project schedule. When using the schedule software, ensure and include the standard of measurement, and then using this process, it can provide a great guideline and direction for the project scheduling and all that stuff for activities.